Welcome to TMZ Live. Kevin Federline has spoken very little about his marriage, his relationship with Britney Spears. She has done a lot of talking, a lot of writing. He hasn't until now.
Yes, he has a new memoir that is coming out next week. It's called You Thought You Knew. And already we are learning there are a lot of things we didn't know about their relationship that are coming out in this book. So without further ado, let's bring in the author himself, Kevin Federline. Kevin, welcome to TMZ Live.
How's it going, guys?
We're good.
We're good, man.
There were some really stunning parts in this book. One of the things, and we've only seen excerpts, but one of the things that really struck me was a story you told about the night before your wedding involving Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, so I, saw her outside on the phone. She was crying the night before our wedding. I assumed that she was speaking with her mom or family member, friend, something like that. And so I went back in. We were at the Fairmont. I went back into the room, waited for her to get off the phone. When she came in, I asked her if everything was okay. And she told me that she was on the phone with Justin. And I was shocked, obviously. And I mean, yeah, from there, it was just like, wow, this jaw-dropping moment for me. And she was just saying basically that she wanted to make sure everything was closure, all that before us getting married. Kind of a red flag moment. But yeah, I mean, from there, I basically was like, okay, look, we don't have to go through with this. It wasn't like, if she was having doubts, then I'm totally happy, letting things play out and just being together for a long time and figuring all of this out. Obviously, I mean, I knew how she felt about me. So I kind of took it for what it is and the rest played out.
Well, Kevin, what's interesting about that is that she had asked you, she proposed marriage to you.
Right.
So at that point, I would think that you would go like, well, you're the one who wanted to get married. Shouldn't you have had this conversation? I imagine if I were in your shoes, I would say to her, why didn't you have this conversation with him before you asked me to marry you?
Yeah, I mean, it was a spur of the moment thing, obviously. So I didn't really have time to reflect on all of it in the moment. Looking back on it now, it's easy to say a lot of things, but it played out the way that it did. And after that, obviously we were super happy and very much in love and what couples are when they get married for a long time after that. So
speaking of Britney, Kevin, I imagine you and Britney don't have a lot of personal conversations, but your boys have made efforts to rebuild their relationship with her. How is that going? And do they involve you at all in any conversations about her, or is it sort of separation of church and state? They deal with mom, but they don't talk to you about how that's going?
No, I mean, my boys are very open with me. They know, they could come to me with anything and that I'm going to give them solid advice and I'm here for them, right? I mean, that's, as a father, like, I'll do whatever I can to help my boys and their mother. That's just the person that I am. So they do talk to me. I know a lot of things, obviously things that I'll never say, but
Are they alarmed?
Yeah, I think everybody in the family is.
Alarmed by
just everything, the whole situation right now. Everybody, part of the cry for help that the reason why I'm doing it is to support my sons, try to gain support for the people that actually care about her, and my kids want their mom to be around for years to come. They want a relationship with her. So that's a very fluid situation with them, and I'm supporting them in whatever way I can.
Kevin, there was so much about this conservatorship over the last 15 years now, and it ended. Do you or your kids feel it was good to end it, given what you're seeing now, or that it was a mistake?
Well, I mean, I do address the conservatorship in my book, right? And I think when people read it, they'll get a better understanding of where I stand on that situation. It's created a very difficult situation, and the fact that everybody around her that actually cares about her, I mean, her family, people have been vilified through all of this, right? And I think if you really take an outside perspective and look at it as a whole, no matter what side of the fence you're on this, everybody can agree that we want my son's mom to be happy and healthy.
Do you think that are the boys in a difficult position now? Because I'm sure Britney is not thrilled that you've written this book, but that's an issue with you. Is it something that she brings up with them, knowing that obviously they're in between you two, and she's not talking directly to you? Does she mention it to them?
I don't know. I haven't heard or had those conversations with them per se lately. But yeah, I mean, they're stuck in a difficult situation of how to navigate all of this, right? But I mean, the one thing and the reason why I've waited so long is I wanted to make sure that my sons were okay with me doing this. All of my kids, my family, everybody's behind me telling my story, and me, because I've stayed quiet for so long, just trying to manage family and life in the spotlight and raising these amazing children that I have, and that's why I stayed quiet to do that job and make sure that they were going to be okay. And now that I have, they're all behind me. Everybody is behind me being able to tell my story. I mean, she was able to tell her story, so why not? Why can't I? Right.
The kids are adults now, and they can process better than most what has gone on in your family and with their mother. Do they feel she's secure and safe without being in a conservatorship at this point, because they have had interactions?
Well, I mean, look, all I can say is that everybody just wants her happy and healthy. I'm not going to put words in my son's mouth on how they feel about the conservatorship. All they want is for their mom to be happy and healthy, and they want her around, right? They want her around.
Okay, can we get to one of the parts that's of your book that's making the rounds right now? And it has to do with one night
in Amsterdam.
Yeah,
you call it One Night in Amsterdam. Maybe that should be the chapter. I don't know what the chapter is called.
There
in
you
the book.
go, Kevin. You can take that for free.
Nice.
So you're this night in Amsterdam in the middle of a tour. You find Britney. You're at the hotel where everyone in the band and the dancers are staying, and Britney's kind of MIA. And you find her.
And she's MIA. I start, going to look for her because I was wondering what was going on. And yes, I caught her kissing another girl. And, most guys in that situation would be jumping for joy. But that's, at the time, not what I was, I wasn't there for that. And I think if you go and read that actual story, people will be kind of shocked of what came of that, right? Because it wasn't like this horrible thing, even though it started out that way, but it wound up bringing us really closer together in the end, which was amazing. I think people enjoy reading that part of the book.
And then finally, I just want to know how you feel about everything that's happened with Britney being as public as she is, really kind of, trashing you in her book, going off on social media. You've been really quiet about it. And I'm just wondering how you process all of that, because you made a very conscious decision not to react over many years. I just want to know what was going through your head.
For me, it was easier to focus on my family because that's what's most important. And through this time, right, that's kind of really what I've learned, is that my children, my wife, and the people that I care about are more important than anything else. It's something that could never be taken from me. It's something that is, the value of what that is just so precious to me. So focusing on that really helped me stay quiet. And also I stayed quiet so I can gain a better perspective. I wanted to make sure that if I did ever come out and speak, that I was speaking after really reflecting on all of it.
You know, before we go, Kevin, I just want to give you an opportunity to respond to this, because since you announced the book was coming out, we have gotten some videos with Sam Asghari, who has taken some very thinly veiled jabs at you, suggesting that you're only in fatherhood for commerce, and saying that you shouldn't be writing this book, and saying he would never do such a thing. To that, you say what?
I mean, I don't really have anything to say to Sam. You know, that's what Sam says doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is my family. What matters to me is what my children think of me. And that's it. You know, everything else is outside noise. I mean, both of us live two different lives, so I don't expect him to understand who I am. Maybe he should read my book.
Okay.
All right.
I got to say, I just want to say one other thing. I remember, I mean, this is our 20th year. We're coming up on a 20-year anniversary at TMZ. So we have chronicled you and Britney and everything. And I'm just, as I'm listening to you now, I was just thinking back to your reality show and how off the rails you guys were. And I'm watching you now, and I just got to say it because it struck me. You seem so grounded and reasoned. It's just really impressive. And I just wanted to say that because you seem like a very different person to me now than you did back then.
Thank you, man. Thank you. You know, it's interesting because when you're young and you think all of these things that you want, God has a way of showing you that what you thought you wanted was completely opposite.
All right.
Okay. Well, congratulations on the book, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, guys.
Really appreciate it.
And the book is out next week, October 21st.
Coming up.
It should come as no surprise that Kim Kardashian has struggled with some of the things that Kanye, her ex-husband, says and does in the public, particularly when he's attacking her family. That's not surprising.
Making threats.
What is surprising is who actually gave Kim advice on how to handle this.
Be right back.
It should come as no surprise that Kim Kardashian has struggled with some of the things that Kanye, her ex-husband, says and does in the public, particularly when he's attacking her family. That's not surprising.
Making threats.
What is surprising is who actually gave Kim advice on how to handle this. Their daughter, North. This is what Kim had to say about, she's on the Call Her Daddy podcast, and they were talking about the struggles of this particular divorce, because it is unique. Like, we see lots of nasty celebrity divorces, but we don't see them where there's one person attacking the way that Kanye does at times. And obviously, we all know that has to do with mental illness, but Kim's got to deal with it. This is what she said North advised her in one particular breakdown.
Kanye has said some pretty horrible things about you as a mother publicly, and you never really respond. What toll does it take on you to stay silent?
I know. What is the point? Am I going to go back and forth? My kids are going to see this. They'll figure it all out when they want to make those decisions. And I used to be so protective. And my kids, I say such positive things about their dad that North had to say to me, Mom, I think you go upstairs and cry at night. It's okay. It's time to move on. You need to have a boyfriend now. Cause and I'm like, wait, what?
North.
What? I cry? No, I'm getting a massage, upstairs. What do you think is happening? As hard as it is for me, I want them to think the best things, And so she was just they see things, so I'm just okay, I got to give it up.
I have a lot to say about this. So I know I have a lot of connections knowing what's going on here. This started long before Kim left Kanye, that she wanted to leave him a long time before she did. And she didn't because he wasn't mentally stable and she felt it was going to be bad for him. So she was thinking about him, even though she desperately wanted to leave because he was making it impossible in their house. Since then, they have a mediation agreement where if they have a dispute, they're supposed to go to mediation. He has ignored it, he's violated it, and all of the things he said, when she says, I never say bad things, that's what I'm getting back from multiple connections, that she doesn't. She's really trying to hold things together. And the fact that North knows about it, to me, is not just that North is savvy enough to know what's going on in social media, but when she's with Kanye, whom she actually really loves, you can only
when North is with Kanye.
You can imagine what Kanye must say to North about Kim, because he's just awful to her, and she's never fought back.
So you think
because
that
of the kids.
North's advice comes from her hearing things that Kanye is saying?
I really do.
Yeah, and Kim hasn't been with anyone like really since Pete, like in a serious a relationship. I'm sure North wants that for her mom. She sees like all the other sisters like in a relationship. She wants her mom to be happy.
But
and
you know what the problem with that is?
What?
That when she does hook up with somebody, that puts Kanye into overdrive.
And Kim says that she's terrified of that, and so she has taken a step back from dating, and she goes, you know what, I've had my phases, I realized that, of like dating. She goes, now I'm in like my mommy phase. And she goes, so I'm really focused on my kids. She was like, what's happened to Pete, I feel terrible about. And she acknowledged that, and I feel like that's also why she doesn't date. It's super sad. And then she even said sometimes when she would come home, and Kanye was in one of the episodes, 5 of their Lamborghinis would be gone, and he would have gifted them to their friends. And that was it, and it happened more than once. And she was like, I would come home, like my cars would just be gone because he would gift them. And Alex was yeah, and she was like, what made you finally leave? And she goes, you know what? I didn't feel safe. And she goes, it's not like physically I didn't feel safe. I just didn't feel safe. She goes, when you come from my kids, when you come from like my family, I don't feel safe.
Yeah. And that's what I was, listen, I know for months before she filed for divorce, months before she filed, she wanted out.
Yes.
And she didn't do it only because of Kanye's mental health.
Yeah, and she said she's always wanted to respond to Kanye, and she I write drafts, like when I see him like coming out on like X or something, I write it, I send it to my family, and they like support me doing it, and then she was like, I don't want my kids.
That's therapeutic, at least she's getting it out.
She was like, I don't want my kids to hear their mom speaking about their dad like this. It is sad.
It's really,
but you gotta give her kudos.
Hey guys, it's Juliana from Boca. Yeah, I agree with North. It's time for Kim to move on. But at the same time, it's very hard. You know, she has 4 kids. She has a big business going on, the TV, and it's just too much. Just too much. I feel for her, but she's doing an amazing job. The kids love her. And North is just crazy about her. And it's amazing to see she's the rock of the family.
She is the family. Kanye doesn't see the kids that much at all. She is the family.
This makes sense now why we saw North when she was dating Pete. Remember, he would hang up, then he was spending time with the kids, and North always seemed happy to be around him. So I'm sure that was something that she embraced. She wanted that for her mom.
Yeah. If Luigi Mangione wants Nutella, he can buy a lot.
A lot of Nutella, because 40 grand will do that for you. Luigi, of course, is in prison awaiting trial for the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. But while he's there, his fans have made sure that he is well taken care of as far as sending him money. The amount of money,
$40,000 in his account.
That people are sending him their hard-earned money, and in that much of it is crazy.
Charlie has prison sources.
Yes, I spoke to some people close to the situation.
In other words, inmates.
Yeah, spoke to some prison sources who told me that Luigi is just living the life behind bars. He's got $40,000 that he can spend on anything in commissary. You kind of mentioned, Harvey, they do have Nutella you can buy. He can buy a summer sausage for $2.10, oatmeal for $3.65. On top of that, he's getting about 100 to 200 letters a day.
This is just
From
crazy.
fans all over the world, everywhere from China to New Zealand. A lot of these people are in love with him. I was told that at one point he was reading a letter and he said out loud something that made him laugh in the letter. And I'm told that this female, wrote that she wanted to, quote, bug out on his junk.
Yeah, she didn't use junk. She used
She said a
the other
different word.
Right.
And also, by the way,
So he's screaming this out to other inmates
he's
there?
saying this out loud, laughing.
Is that
He gets
risky?
a kick out of it.
Pretty risky, because if they don't know the context,
Yeah, that sounds risky.
you might
By
be
the
inviting.
way, one little update we got too, he's got a new job behind bars. Apparently about 4 months ago, I was told he's now doing garbage detail. So he's going around, he's in charge of cleaning out all the trash bins and stuff like that, which he does every morning.
Coming up.
It has happened. It is finally happening. There is a crack in the armor that is Swiftiedom. Some Swifties and a lot of non-Swifties think Taylor's overdone it with the release of this latest album.
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
Phoebe Rexa was looking hot on vacation.
Look at the water, too.
Did you just say look at the water?
I mean, I'll be honest, that is what I was looking at.
TMZ.
It has happened. It is finally happening. There is a crack in the armor that is Swiftiedom.
It's bigger than MAGA having a crack. It really is bigger than MAGA.
It kind of is. You don't hear Swifties turn on Taylor, but there is just some whispers going on out there. Here is an example of why some Swifties and a lot of non-Swifties think Taylor's overdone it with the release of this latest album.
The death of a showgirl, the life of a capitalist. That's what I think this album honestly should be called. I have been a Taylor Swift fan for an incredibly long time, right the way back to debut. I've met her, been to every tour, bought every album. I've been a big fan the whole time. This album to me is incredibly problematic. I've woken up this morning to see that we've already got the dressing room version, the going out for a walk version, the sitting on the toilet version of various different songs. I'm not gonna pay for an album and then go and do a microtransaction to go to the cinema to go and watch a film to try and understand the album that I've already paid for.
And what he's talking about is there are more variants of Taylor's latest album than COVID. It is 38 variants.
You might be right at this point.
38 variants.
Is this that perspective you just heard? I'm not sure how widespread it is, but I think our guest knows because Ashley Bornanson is not only a journalist, but herself a self-professed Taylor Swift fan. I don't know if she's at Swiftie level, but she's been watching all the reactions to this. So Ashley, welcome to TMZ Live.
Hey guys, it has been a wild reaction, and honestly, any Taylor Swift fan is reluctant to call themselves a Swiftie because the Swifties will come at you. But in this case, I think the Swifties are reuniting together right now because they just feel like the 38 album variants that she keeps posting all over her Instagram stories, especially with that time ticker going on, making you feel like it is ultimate FOMO. If you don't get her latest version, you had acoustic, you had cabaret, you had all the different cover arts, Target exclusives, those sweaters. Like, it was so insane. And now people are finally speaking out. And you know why, guys? Did you guys listen to the album?
Some of it.
Here and there.
Okay. And did you feel like this was the showstopper that you wanted it to be? I don't know.
I'll be honest, I was a little underwhelmed. I expected more pop bangers, and there were some pretty downbeat songs. I thought it was going to be more upbeat stuff.
Yeah, you felt like this was her vibrant return to pop music like we all did with her 1989 album with like Blank Space or, Shake It Off or something like that. But instead it was kind of like soft rock. There weren't a ton of huge Easter eggs. We wanted more from it. And it just felt like she was exploiting this parasocial relationship. And I think people are saying enough is enough. And back in the day, we could only hear what the outlets were saying. But now with social media, people are getting on their microphones. And in a way, it can feel like a gang mentality. But I don't think it's a gang. They're finally feeling like they feel empowered to speak up for how they really feel. And I think that's a great thing because this was not the album she marketed. It felt like, guys, she spent more time marketing the album than she did actually making the album. And I think that's what a lot of people are disgusted by.
I think there's another thing, and you know better than me, but I think there's this reaction, especially by young people, against the super rich. And now that Taylor is cemented as a billionaire, 1.6 billion, she's not one of them anymore. I mean, even though she was fabulous.
She hasn't been one of them, and they know that.
Well, even though she wasn't fabulously wealthy as a billionaire, I don't think people thought about she has 372 million. She still marketed herself as the girl I can identify with. And I wonder if that's been lost a little bit because of her fame and wealth. And on top of that, selling all these things.
You know, I think you're onto something, and I think she still tries to be that relatable bestie. Like when she talks about the sourdough bread and, oh, I can't perform at the Super Bowl because that's my boyfriend. She really tries to act like she's one of us. But when you look at how much she's exploiting our pocketbooks, I mean, your lower third says it all. She's milking the Swifties. We are cows, and she is milking us for all she's worth. And why? Why? But honestly, if you keep milking us, we're not going to keep buying your records because we just don't want to support capitalism. And you know more than ever that now people are so nervous with the economy, especially this year. I mean, Fortune 500 companies are laying off thousands and thousands of employees. AI is taking over. We're seeing it take over in the entertainment industry. You see Tilly Norwood. Soon your guys are going to be reporting on Tilly Norwood taking over. So people are nervous and they feel like she's exploiting this relationship. And mind you, notice, I've never seen an album, correct me if I'm wrong, where she's dropping voice notes. And I thought that was really interesting. You want to know why? Let's be real. People want to know if she is standing by Blake Lively in the Blake Lively Justin Baldoni saga. They thought the voice notes would let us know if the song canceled or if other songs were about Blake Lively.
So wait, that's not what the voice notes are about?
You guys think I bought the version with the I'm listening to this on Spotify.
If you didn't buy it, so all right, Ashley, I'm gonna I was not expecting that. All right, I'm gonna play contrarian. I'm going to play contrarian because although it sounds like there are a lot of people in Taylor, it's a lot of Taylor fans who are coming to my side of the street because I've been saying this for a long time about all these different versions and that it's really just done to game the charts and to make sure that her album stays at #1 longer. I would say to these fans who are so upset, then just buy the one version you want and that's it.
But I understand what you're saying. Like, if you don't want to buy the album, don't buy it. But there are a lot of young people who are pressuring their families who are probably on tight budgets right now in this economy saying, I don't want to be the one left out. And people are getting really sick of that.
Ashley, it's so good talking to you. Finally, some common sense.
Some common sense.
Yes. Appreciate you coming
Thank you,
on.
Ashley.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Ashley.
Of course. I'll see you guys next time.
Coming up.
Jason Kelce is stirring up a lot of controversy over Bad Bunny, and what's interesting is he was trying to do the exact opposite.
Be right back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. Jason Kelce is stirring up a lot of controversy over Bad Bunny, and what's interesting is he was trying to do the exact opposite. And he cleared up something. You may have heard over the weekend, there was a quote that was going around on social media that was attributed to Jason Kelce, saying, if Bad Bunny is a bad fit for the Super Bowl, then maybe the people making these comments are a bad fit for America's future.
So he's going after MAGA there, you would think.
Well, he says that quote didn't come from him. He never said it, and someone just created it, and it spread like wildfire on social media.
And he said he normally doesn't respond, but he wanted to respond to that.
Right. Now, what's the next thing you expect him to say?
To say how he feels about Bad Bunny performing.
And he did not say
Radio
nothing about
silence.
it, and I think that is what now people are, in a way, he's made people want to know how he feels about it even more.
Yeah, because this is the Taylor Swiftification of the family. I think in the past, he would probably say how he felt, but
how,
more.
Do we have any sense of how he feels?
Well, what do you mean the Taylor Swiftification of the family?
He did not want to. She never wants to rock the boat, right?
But she supported Biden, so she took a stand.
True. Good. Yeah. That's a good point.
She does take political stands.
She does.
And this does come down to a political divide, basically, right?
How does he feel?
People
That's
on the
a great
right
question.
have said they don't want Bad Bunny.
But you know what? At a point, it's a Super Bowl. It's a halftime show. And it's like, okay, I may piss people off if I say, I like Bad Bunny and I want to see him perform.
Right.
It's like, that's not going to ruin his career. It's not going to end endorsements. I mean, it's just not.
Yeah. I think if his stance is he's all for Bad Bunny doing it, that probably won't hurt him.
How controversial
as
is
much
that
as
to say? You know what? It's more controversial to say I don't want him than to say,
Well,
I'm
it
looking
depends
forward
what the
to it.
reason is.
Right.
If you say I don't like his music, I think that's fine. If you say he's
speaks
anti-American,
in Spanish
right, then that's when it starts to potentially
But
get
if you
offensive.
say you like the guy, it's like
yeah.
nobody's going to
No,
cancel
who
you for
cares?
liking Bad Bunny.
I agree. Who
But
cares?
maybe he doesn't.
Yeah.
We don't know.
He doesn't want to say. He clearly doesn't want to say because
Right.
that would have been his opportunity
I'd
to
love
just
to
say,
know what
oh,
he
and by the
feels.
way,
Well, now he knows.
Yeah.
Whenever he does any interview outside of his New Heights podcast,
right,
somebody's going to ask him that question.
I wonder, maybe he will actually say,
yeah,
maybe he's saving it for New Heights.
That's going to be really interesting if they address it or not, or not.
Son of Domani from Cleveland, Ohio. It's kind of weird to me how he isn't saying anything really. He addressed it, obviously, but it seems like he has a problem with it at the end of the day. It's just kind of weird to me. It's giving me a really weird vibe, honestly. Yeah.
Does it bother you he's not responding?
Yeah, in a way. It's like, dude, come on. Like, I mean, we had Shakira perform before. Like, what's wrong with Bad Bunny? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Both Hispanic cultures were, performing. It's just weird to me. I don't know. It's giving me a really weird vibe.
Yeah, but we should just caution everyone. I don't think it's fair to assume that Jason doesn't want Bad Bunny.
With no idea.
Just because he corrected the quote doesn't mean that he is against Bad Bunny.
But what it seems to mean is he's kind of afraid to say how he feels.
He's definitely afraid to say whichever it is. Jonathan Majors hit rock bottom, and he is opening up about what that looked like for him and admitting that there was more than one time, at least the way he's describing it, that he contemplated suicide. You know, of course, what Jonathan went through with the allegations that he faced, the trial that he went through.
This was where he allegedly assaulted his
then girlfriend, right?
And it was an Uber.
Yeah, in the back of that SUV there. Now the trial ended, and he actually beat the more serious charges, but his career took a major blow. And I think that's what he's referring to here. He was on Kirk Franklin's Den of Kings podcast and said this about suicide and how his now wife, Megan Good, helped him through it.
Have you ever been to that space where you ever thought about suicide as black men?
Yeah, absolutely. I was on suicide watch. Me and my wife. There were times when we never spoke about it, but she never left me alone. And I never let myself be alone. Because we had spoken about that, and I put it to her very straight. I don't know. I just don't want it. You talk about life. I just don't want it. I just don't want.
What brought you to that place?
Isolation, right? Ostracism, humiliation.
I have a question for you. The question was, I thought about, have you ever thought about suicide as a black man? Why did they add as a black man?
Well, because Kirk was speaking to everyone his guests were all black men.
But I'm wondering why that.
And I think
because it's a thing in the black community that a lot of it's like a stereotype. You can't talk about your emotions. You can't talk about wanting to be suicidal. Mental health is one. It's like a taboo thing for black men, especially, to talk about in our community. So to see a podcast like this, to see him, Kirk Franklin, bring a lot of black men together, Ray J, Jonathan Majors, NLE Choppa,
and for them to be
talk
honest about
and open and vulnerable, to see black men cry, to see black men talk about their emotions is something that we don't see a lot in the black community.
Yeah.
So for him, it's a very poignant thing to point out, for sure.
Hi, it's Neville from Great Britain. I'm not surprised that John Majors has basically hit rock bottom even. He was due to start in the MCU universe as one of the biggest characters to ever grace the MCU. And, it's obviously he's majorly depressed after what happened. All his jobs are cancelled. So, I'm not surprised he feels the way he does. And it's a real shame. It's a good thing he's got support from his wife. But it's going to take a long time for him to bounce back after that.
Where's his career right now?
Not anywhere near what it would have been had he had that role in these series of Marvel movies.
Is it coming back?
Not It's nowhere near that.
He had
Not
that.
yet.
He,
I mean,
he
he
had
has got
that
roles.
movie, the Magazine Dream movie that I did go see, that did come out in theaters, and it was great acting, but it didn't get notoriety, it didn't get pickup, it didn't get a lot of people talking about it, because at the end of the day, this situation has really just tainted.
And interestingly, remember that particular role he had actually shot before the
Everything,
accusations. But yeah, it's going to take a long time for him to get back to where he was.
Coming up.
Well, TJ Holmes and Amy Robach have an announcement. What's interesting about this announcement that they are engaged is how the news didn't come out and how they reacted to that.
Be right back.
Well, TJ Holmes and Amy Robach have an announcement which, honestly, I don't know how it took so long. It's been 3 years.
That's shocking.
Since the former GMA3 hosts came clean about the fact that they were in a relationship.
And they both kind of exited their Good Morning America show.
Yeah, well, as I say, they exited their marriages and the GMA
that too.
set.
That too.
So here's the announcement. They have a podcast now. What's interesting about this announcement that they are engaged, you can see it on the lower third, you know what it is. But what's interesting is how the news didn't come out and how they reacted to that.
Am I making the announcement?
Well, you're kind of taking away from the announcement. It's not supposed to be an announcement. We were just sharing something.
Okay, we are sharing with all of you that we are engaged. And we've been engaged for just about a month now.
Yes. So we're actually surprised that we're just now talking about it. We wanted to let you all know before anybody else was able to. We've learned that lesson, I guess, in the past about our relationship, that we want to be the first to talk about it.
I was in 3 massive football
Yes.
stadiums 3 weekends in a row wearing my engagement ring very proudly.
3 straight weekends, and we just knew, somebody's going to know, it's going to get out, fine, whatever. So we haven't been keeping it a secret, but nobody's asked.
Oh, no.
So what they're saying is they're not relevant anymore, that no one cared to break this news?
First of all,
is that what they're saying?
What I heard and what I'm jealous about is they're going to great football games every weekend.
That's what you heard, dude?
They're walking along like
yes.
It's like she's...
Well, also, don't you think the medium that they chose and the platform they chose to announce this on their podcast, normally people will just post it on their Instagram.
Don't you get it?
Well, they have to do the podcast as their moneymaker.
No, but they've been engaged for a month. And they're like waiting, and they're going out, and it's like,
oh no, I get it.
I'm hailing a cab.
Hey, guess what? No one cared anymore.
Well, that's the part that hurts.
Yeah, right.
So they waited a month for somebody to notice it, and they didn't. So they ended up doing it
on their own podcast.
Said, we wanted to tell you before anybody else was able to.
Congratulations, though. Seriously,
they blew up their lives, and worked out.
I mean, good that it worked out.
Yeah, ended up working out.
So does it? Just a controversial question. Does it make it okay if now they have always said that there was no cheating, right? That it wasn't an affair. But does it make it okay now that they're going to get married?
Well, hold on. This is why marriage is so dumb, right?
Oh, God,
okay. So they found the love of their life, and it may not have been their first partners, but now it's theirs now. So you got to go through the rigmarole of a divorce, because in a marriage, you're supposed to do it until somebody drops dead. And that didn't happen. So if there were no marriage, they could have just moved on, and they probably would have their job still.
So you're pro affairs.
Triggered.
Darian, Nashville. I agree that the announcement was very strange, especially launching it on what I would consider a successful podcast. I'm happy for them. I'm sure that everyone around them is happy, but kind of like you guys said, I will definitely always side-eye these two.
Why?
Wow. Side-eye.
Side-eye.
It's been 3 years.
And they found each other. Come on.
Coming up.
I don't know what's going on over at Dancing with the Stars.
I don't either.
I think they pulled a fast one.
Me too.
And if I were a fan of the show, I would be pissed. I'd be so pissed.
Be right back.
I don't know what's going on over at Dancing with the Stars.
I don't either.
I think they pulled a fast one.
Me too.
And if I were a fan of the show, I would be pissed. I'd be so pissed.
They didn't
we'll get to that in a moment.
They didn't eliminate it. They're not eliminating
we'll get to it right
anybody
now.
this week.
We'll get to it
Well,
right
I
now.
mean, it's an outrage.
It is an outrage. And particularly, there's a reason why they got so many votes last night. It was sort of like an emotional tearjerker night. And so people called in wanting to support their favorites, and just to find out it didn't matter. One of the favorites all season has been Robert Irwin, and it was dedication night, and his dedication was to his mom, and yes, she was there, and here's how it played out.
Show them together, 'cause you'll be in my heart always.
Aww. Harvey loves a great aww moment.
That's sweet.
So that's very sweet, and you can see why people called in, but they're calling in because they think there's some stakes here.
I agree with you guys. Guys, I'm in a fantasy league. I understand how this is an outrage.
Well, hold on.
I'm in a
Hold on. We have a new headline.
I'm in a Dancing with the Stars fantasy league. You do it on an app. It's like fantasy football. You do like a ranking. We have 2 separate rankings. So last night, this was big because I was like, oh my gosh, what if the person I said was going to go home doesn't go home? I'm losing points. I've got money on this. There's like an actual betting ring.
TMZ's fantasy league is in prison.
It's a whole different thing.
No, guys, this is huge. 50 million votes came in last night. Huge stuff.
But nobody got eliminated.
With 0
But
stakes.
next week, they'll
They better kick off 2.
carry over.
So wait, they got to kick off 2 people next week,
I think so,
right?
yes. I think next week's double elimination.
I didn't like your brother. Vote him out.
Yeah, because they're going to vote off Dylan Efron and her little sisters right there.
I'm just saying, whatever.
Nisi from Florida here. Watching Rob Irwin's dedication last night to his mother was super heartwarming, with everything involved with how his dad is no longer with him. You can tell he really put his all into it. But must I add, or might I add, Danielle Fishel doing her whole Boy Meets World segment with Mr. Feeney had my whole millennial heart in shambles and the biggest ugly cry you've ever seen.
I didn't mean to laugh at you. I didn't mean to laugh.
Wow. God, people are into this.
I'm
50
not
million
lying to y'all.
votes.
People like this show.
Clearly.
Coming up.
This is a testament to the power of fandom. Being a sports fan sticks with you no matter what. Even if you grow up to become the Pope, you still have your allegiance to your teams.
I gotta say, the Pope is dope.
Be right back.
This is a testament to the power of fandom. Being a sports fan sticks with you no matter what. Even if you grow up to become the Pope, you still have your allegiance to your teams. And Pope Leo made sure that the crowd in Vatican City knows he is still a White Sox fan, and only a White Sox fan.
That is hysterical.
You got it in your face.
That
From
is
the Pope.
Hysterical. And with all the cheers, that's what he got.
And that person thought, oh, he's going to definitely wave to me. I'm from Chicago, just like him. And he's like, your Cubs, forget it.
I got to say.
It's outside.
I never connected, but I got to say, the Pope is dope.